have permission from the author, Yuno Imai, to read this book. The Last Meal, written by Yuno, illustrated by Nadia Popova. On a beautiful sunny day, colorful flowers blossomed outside. Somewhere in America, inside a rural town prison, a guard handed death row inmate Chase a piece of paper and told him, "Fill this out by tomorrow." Chase knew immediately what the form was. It was the last meal request form. Chase was born into a poor family. Food was not always available, and he was often hungry. Many of the crimes he committed were due to hunger. The thought of filling up his stomach with his favorite food gave Chase something to look forward to. Chase grabbed a pen and jotted down his last meal request on the form: fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and chocolate ice cream. On the evening before his execution, Chase could not contain his excitement. Smiling at the food in front of him, Chase put his hands together with sparkling eyes as he saw his favorite foods placed in front of him and said a final prayer. "Thank you for this meal." On a humid, hot summer night, Peter could feel the sweat dripping off his forehead as he sat inside his prison cell. Peter's execution date was 2 days away. Despite the heat, he was shivering on his bed. "Peter, how many times do I have to tell you to fill out the last meal request form?" Even with the guard yelling at him, Peter refused to fill out the form. The guard became impatient, shut the food flap, and turned off the lights in Peter's cell. The next evening, Peter was served meatballs, green peas, 2 slices of toast, and an apple. It was the same simple meal that was served to the other prisoners because he never made his last meal request. Peter did not eat his meal and spent the rest of his night quietly in his cell until it was time for his execution. After Peter was executed, a prison guard was cleaning Peter's cell and found a sheet of paper under his bed. It was the last meal request form that Peter did not turn in. On the back was a handwritten note from Peter. "Dear relatives of the victim, my mind is filled with regret and shame. I'm so scared to die that I cannot eat anything anymore. I am sincerely sorry for what I have done. I hope to be born again with a good heart, and I will work hard to help others. Please forgive me. From Peter." The leaves outside had turned shades of red and yellow. Many people were celebrating the arrival of fall. Death row inmate Fred looked serious as he handed his last meal request form to the guard. The guard looked puzzled and said, "Pizza and grape soda? Why would you request something kids would eat?" "Oh, I see. I will have the chef prepare your requested meal." The next day, a little boy rushed into Fred's prison cell. "Daddy!" "Son, thank you for coming. How have you been?" "I've been all right," answered the son. Fred could tell his son was worried. "What's wrong?" "Mommy told me today is the last day I can see you. Are you going away for work?" "Not exactly, but If you ever miss me and feel lonely, look up at the moon. I will be looking at the same moon, and no matter where we are, we will always be connected," promised Fred. "Okay, if I ever get lonely without you, then I will imagine you are on the other side of the moon." "That's my boy. Be good for your mommy, okay? Here, I have your favorite food on the table. Let's eat before it gets cold." "Yay! Pizza and grape soda! You still remember my favorites!" exclaimed Fred's son. "Hey, don't forget to say your prayers before you eat," Fred said to his son. Fred's son replied, "Okay, let's do it together. Thank you for this meal." The season had changed to winter, and it was a cold, snowy, and quiet day. Here it is. Death row inmate James gently handed his last meal request form to the guard. The only thing written on the form was Mom's coconut pie. Although most of the requests made by death row inmates were fulfilled as much as possible, James' request would be a challenge since his mother was no longer alive. One of the guards had been thinking hard about what James wrote on his last meal request form. While he was thinking of ways to make James' request come true, 2 other guards passed by. The 3 of them brainstormed together and finally came up with a brilliant idea. Early the next morning, the 3 guards came together in the prison kitchen and shared their coconut pie recipes. Soon, they realized the recipes were all different from one another. Not all the recipes used the same amount of sugar or same type of coconut flakes. One recipe used butter instead of margarine and milk instead of buttermilk. After they compared the recipes, they agreed that all 3 seemed delicious and heartwarming. "As long as we make it with love, the pie should taste similar to James' mom's special recipe." That evening, the guards knocked on James' cell door. One of the guards was holding a freshly baked coconut pie. "We hope this one tastes like your mom's coconut pie." James looked surprised and lost his words. After a moment of silence, he took the pie with tears in his eyes. "Thank you very much." Sweet, nutty scent of coconut pie filled the room. James brought the pie closer to his face and took a deep breath through his nose. In that moment, memories from his mother's homemade coconut pies flooded his mind one after another. Her very first homemade coconut pie for his 5th birthday party. The day she gave him 2 pieces of her pie to celebrate his graduation from elementary school. He remembered sharing her coconut pie with his teammates after a soccer game. Then there was the time he ate slightly burnt coconut pie when he brought his first girlfriend home to meet his mother. And 3 years ago, when James spent Christmas Eve with his mother, he was reminded of the last time he had her special pie. James softly closed his eyes, clasped his hands, and said for the last time, "Mom, thank you for this meal." The end. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel for more fun and surprises. Bye!